Working at Tesla definitely changed me, and there's no doubt I'll never be the same again in a bunch of complicated ways, but we'll get into it. I remember when I left, or when I first started thinking about leaving ExxonMobil in 2015, I remember thinking to myself, maybe I can only be successful at this company or in this industry. And my wife and I really went into it with that mentality in a way that we may not like it, or maybe we won't even be good at it. But for me, it really lit a fire within me that I had early in my career, but had sort of lost over that 10 years I'd worked in the oil industry. And I think what I've realized over the years, if you have that fire lit within you, it's really hard not to be successful. You'll be willing to put the work in. You'll be more likely to find that path to success. Hey folks, I'm Greg Smythe, coming to you from the heart of Silicon Valley, bringing you weekly videos on how to be successful in a Fortune 500 company. In this week's video, I'm going to share how my career pivot from ExxonMobil to Tesla really changed me, how it's given me the confidence and the tools to face more uncertainty and take more risk. If you like the content, make sure to follow me on LinkedIn and subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm on a march to get to 1,000 subscribers, and if you can support me in that journey, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks again for watching. Let's get into it. What I took mostly from my experience at Tesla was not the specific commodity or technical knowledge, but it really pushed me to make decisions with less information, to move faster, to think outside the box, to use unconstrained thinking, to think about what was possible in crazy short amounts of time. It really helped me prove to myself that I was more capable than I'd really realized. I always thought I was a person that had to have all the information to make a decision, but I realized with additional practice and being exposed to a culture or an environment like that I could thrive. A more ambiguous, faster moving culture. And in fact, it unlocked a lot of energy and motivation for me and the team I worked in. We were much less dependent on process and much more dependent on our individual judgment and work ethic. This is a lot of responsibility for a small team or an individual to take, but it's also very motivating and drives you to perform. Realize that the company is depending on your judgment and actions to ensure that things happen, and that you don't want to be the bottleneck to let down the entire company. When I talk about how it transformed me, I think there's a tendency for other people and even yourself to put you in a box. It's helpful for other people to predict your behavior when you're doing things that they expect you to do. And even I think we judge ourselves in that way sometimes. And when we do something very different, it makes other people and certainly ourselves uncomfortable. But what this experience did for me was help me realize what my core skills were, and that I could adapt to many different work environments to learn many different unique skill sets that I hadn't developed in the past. Before I left ExxonMobil, I thought maybe I could only be successful at this company, and I think a lot of people share that sentiment. But once you learn that you can adapt to these new environments, don't get me wrong, it's painful and it takes a long time and a lot of effort to be able to adapt. But it's a process that can in some ways be addictive, to be pushing yourself. You do have to cut off, we'll say, metaphorical branches. New ones will grow and you'll get even stronger as a result. This transformation really opened my eyes to what my capabilities were. My advice to you in this circumstance is don't put yourself in a box, and certainly don't let other people put you in a box. You're likely stronger and more adaptive than you realize. The only way to find out is to really step into the unknown and test those abilities and resilience. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you want a little bit more context on why I decided to leave the oil industry, I encourage you to check out this video right here. Make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me on this journey to 1,000 subscribers. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next week.